I will not waste your time with complicated theories. If you want to gain weight on a vegetarian diet, the truth is simple. Your body must receive more energy than it spends, and that energy must come from foods that build the body rather than burden it. I learned this lesson slowly over the course of 99 years. Many people assume that gaining weight is easy. They think you only need to eat more food. But when you follow a vegetarian diet, the situation can feel different. Many plant foods are high in fiber and water. They fill the stomach quickly, yet they do not always provide enough calories to help the body grow stronger. I have met many young vegetarians who eat large bowls of vegetables and grains and still struggle to gain even a few kilograms. I once faced the same challenge in my younger years. I was thin, constantly tired, and people often told me that a vegetarian diet could never support a strong body. But they were wrong. The problem was not the diet itself. The problem was that I did not yet understand how to structure it properly. A healthy body grows when three conditions are met. First, you must consume enough total calories to create what scientists call a caloric surplus. Second, your body needs sufficient protein to repair tissues and build muscle. Third, you must include energy-dense foods, especially healthy fats, that allow you to increase calories without overwhelming your stomach. Vegetarian eating can absolutely support these three principles. Beans, lentils, tofu, nuts, seeds, grains, dairy, and eggs can nourish the body profoundly when used wisely. Over the decades, I learned that healthy weight gain is not about eating recklessly. It is about feeding the body intelligently. And today, as a man who has lived nearly a century, I want to share the simple strategies that finally helped me build strength while staying faithful to a vegetarian life. The first secret I learned about gaining weight on a vegetarian diet is something many people misunderstand. It is not about eating until you feel painfully full. It is about understanding energy. Your body is always performing a quiet calculation. Every heartbeat, every breath, every step you take burns energy. Scientists call this energy calories. If the body burns more calories than it receives, weight slowly disappears. If it receives more calories than it burns, the body begins to store that extra energy. Some of it becomes fat, but when nutrition and activity are balanced properly, much of it supports stronger muscles, healthier tissues, and a more resilient body. When I was a young man, I believed that because I was eating plant foods, I must automatically be healthy. My plate was full of vegetables, grains, and soups, yet I remained thin. My mistake was not the diet itself. My mistake was ignoring calorie density. Vegetarian foods are often rich in fiber and water. This is wonderful for digestion and long-term health, but it can make weight gain difficult. A large bowl of vegetables may fill your stomach while providing very little energy. You may feel full, yet your body has not received enough calories to build new tissue. That realization changed the way I structured my meals. Instead of relying only on large portions of low-calorie foods, I began adding energy-dense plant foods that nourish the body while quietly increasing total calories. Nuts were one of the first discoveries that transformed my diet. Almonds, walnuts, peanuts, and cashews contain healthy fats and valuable minerals. A small handful provides far more calories than an entire bowl of leafy vegetables. Seeds such as sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and sesame seeds work the same way. These foods allowed me to increase my energy intake without feeling overwhelmed by large meals. Then I discovered the power of nut butters. Peanut butter, almond butter, and other seed spreads are simple but powerful tools for healthy weight gain. A spoonful added to oatmeal or whole grain bread can add hundreds of nourishing calories. For someone trying to gain weight, these small additions make a significant difference over time. Another important food that helped me was avocado. When I first began eating avocados regularly, I was surprised by how satisfying they were. They contain healthy monounsaturated fats that provide long-lasting energy. Adding avocado to salads, grains, or sandwiches is a simple way to increase calorie density while still eating natural whole foods. But calories alone are not enough. The body cannot build strength without protein. Protein provides amino acids, the building blocks used to repair and construct tissues. Muscles, organs, enzymes, and many hormones depend on these tiny molecules. When people struggle to gain healthy weight, insufficient protein is often one of the hidden causes. Many people believe that vegetarian diets lack protein, but this belief is not accurate. The truth is that plants provide abundant protein if you know where to find it. Lentils became one of the foundations of my meals. They are rich in protein, iron, and complex carbohydrates that release energy slowly. Chickpeas are another powerful food. They can be eaten whole, added to stews, or blended into spreads like hummus. Beans of all varieties, black beans, kidney beans, navy beans, offer both protein and calories. Later in life, I began including tofu and tempeh, foods made from soybeans. These foods are remarkably rich in protein and absorb flavors beautifully. When cooked with vegetables and grains, they become deeply satisfying meals that support muscle growth and recovery. If a person follows a lacto-vegetarian diet, dairy products such as yogurt, milk, and cheese can also contribute valuable protein and calories. For those who include eggs, they provide one of the most efficient sources of complete protein available in nature. But even with these foods, I discovered something else that many people overlook. Meal frequency matters. When people struggle to gain weight, they often rely on 3 large meals each day. But the stomach has limits. Eating too much at once can cause discomfort, which eventually leads to eating less overall. What worked better for me was dividing my daily intake into 5 or 6 smaller meals. A simple pattern might look like this: breakfast to begin the day with grains, fruit, and protein. A mid-morning snack such as nuts or yogurt. Lunch with legumes, grains, vegetables, and healthy fats. An afternoon snack, perhaps a smoothie or whole grain bread with nut butter. Dinner built around beans, tofu, or lentils with rice or potatoes. And if necessary, a small evening snack. These smaller meals allow the body to absorb nutrients steadily throughout the day. Instead of overwhelming the digestive system, you provide a continuous flow of nourishment. Another discovery that helped me tremendously was liquid nutrition. Sometimes the stomach simply refuses to accept another large meal, but a smoothie can deliver significant nutrition without creating that heavy feeling. I often blend foods such as bananas, oats, peanut butter, milk or plant milk, and seeds. In a single glass, you can obtain calories, protein, and healthy fats in a form that is easy to consume. Over time, these small adjustments begin to change the body. Weight gain does not happen overnight. The body is patient and it responds slowly to consistent habits. But if you maintain a modest calorie surplus each day, week after week, the body gradually begins to build new tissue. I learned to measure progress not in days, but in months. And most importantly, I learned that gaining weight should never mean abandoning health. Many people gain weight through sugary desserts, fried foods, and heavily processed snacks. These foods may increase calories quickly, but they also burden the heart, the liver, and the metabolism. Healthy weight gain must respect the body's long-term needs. That is why whole foods remain the foundation. Legumes, grains, nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, dairy, and eggs where appropriate. These foods deliver calories alongside fiber, vitamins, minerals, and protective compounds that support lifelong health. At 99 years old, I can say this with confidence. The goal is not merely to weigh more. The goal is to become stronger, more energetic, and more resilient. Weight gained through intelligent nourishment supports a body that can still walk, think clearly, and live fully even in old age. But calories, protein, and meal timing are only part of the story. There are other strategies that make vegetarian weight gain far easier. Strategies involving food combinations, digestion, and daily habits that quietly multiply the effect of everything you eat. Those lessons took me many decades to understand, and they may be the most valuable secrets I have to share. By the time I reached my 40s, I had already learned the basic mechanics of gaining weight on a vegetarian diet. Eat enough calories, include sufficient protein, and divide meals across the day. Those principles formed the foundation. But the real transformation happened when I began to understand how to make food work together, how to combine foods in ways that help the body absorb nutrients more efficiently and build healthy mass over time. One of the most important lessons I learned was the power of balanced meals. Many people trying to gain weight focus on only one nutrient. Some eat mostly carbohydrates. Others try to consume excessive protein. But the human body functions best when carbohydrates, proteins, and healthy fats appear together on the plate. Carbohydrates provide the body's primary fuel. Whole grains such as rice, oats, quinoa, barley, and whole grain bread deliver steady energy. When these grains are eaten alongside legumes like lentils or beans, something remarkable happens. Together, they provide a full range of amino acids, forming what nutrition scientists call a complete protein profile. I did not know the scientific term when I was young, but I understood the result. Meals such as rice with beans, lentils with bread, or chickpeas with whole grains left me feeling stronger and more satisfied than either food alone. Healthy fats complete the equation. Fats are the most energy-dense nutrient available to us. 1 gram of fat provides more than twice the calories of carbohydrates or protein. When someone struggles to gain weight, adding moderate amounts of healthy fats can quietly increase total calories without requiring large volumes of food. Olive oil became a staple in my kitchen. A simple drizzle over vegetables or grains adds both flavor and energy. Nuts and seeds perform the same role. A handful added to a meal may seem small, but day after day, those extra calories accumulate and help the body move toward a healthier weight. Another habit that made a surprising difference was avoiding the mistake of filling the stomach with low-calorie foods first. Vegetables are incredibly important for health, but when weight gain is the goal, the order in which you eat can matter. If a meal begins with a large bowl of salad or watery vegetables, the stomach may feel full before enough calories have been consumed. Over time, I learned to structure my meals differently. I would begin with the calorie-dense foods, grains, legumes, healthy fats, and then enjoy vegetables alongside them rather than allowing them to dominate the meal. This small adjustment made it easier to reach the calorie intake my body needed. There is also another factor many people overlook: digestion. The body cannot use nutrients it cannot absorb. A vegetarian diet is naturally high in fiber, which supports gut health but can sometimes create digestive discomfort if introduced too quickly. In my younger years, I occasionally felt bloated after large bean-based meals, and for a while I assumed something was wrong with the food. Eventually, I learned that proper preparation can make a tremendous difference. Soaking beans and lentils before cooking helps reduce certain compounds that make digestion difficult. Cooking them thoroughly also improves nutrient availability. Fermented foods like tempeh or yogurt can support beneficial gut bacteria, which in turn improves digestion and nutrient absorption. When digestion improves, the body becomes far more efficient at converting food into energy and tissue. Another principle I discovered was the importance of consistent eating habits. The body thrives on rhythm. When meals arrive at predictable times, digestion becomes more efficient and appetite gradually increases. Skipping meals or eating erratically makes it difficult to maintain the steady calorie surplus required for weight gain. For many years, I kept a simple routine: breakfast shortly after waking, lunch in the middle of the day, dinner in the evening, and 2 smaller meals between them. This rhythm trained my body to expect nourishment regularly. But nutrition alone does not determine how the body uses calories. Movement also plays a role. Many people believe that if they want to gain weight, they should avoid exercise entirely. I once believed this myself, but the truth is more subtle. Gentle strength-building activity encourages the body to direct nutrients toward muscle development rather than simply storing fat. In my middle years, I began performing simple bodyweight exercises: push-ups against a wall, light resistance movements walking, and later small strength exercises with basic equipment. These activities stimulated my muscles, sending a signal to the body that additional nutrients should be used to build stronger tissue. Without that signal, the body may store excess calories primarily as fat. This does not mean extreme exercise is necessary. In fact, excessive endurance training can make weight gain even harder because it burns large amounts of energy. The goal is balance, enough activity to stimulate muscle growth without eliminating the calorie surplus you work so carefully to create. Hydration also deserves attention. Water plays a role in every metabolic process within the body. Yet drinking large amounts of water immediately before meals can reduce appetite. I learned to hydrate throughout the day while avoiding large amounts of liquid just before eating. Instead, liquids like smoothies became part of the meal itself, contributing both hydration and calories. Then there is the matter of patience. Many people abandon their efforts too soon because they expect immediate results, but the human body does not change dramatically in a few days. Healthy weight gain is gradual. A small increase each week may seem insignificant, yet over months it becomes meaningful progress. In my own experience, the most effective approach was aiming for a modest increase, perhaps a few hundred additional calories per day. This steady surplus allowed the body to adapt comfortably without overwhelming digestion or creating unhealthy fat gain. And perhaps the most important lesson of all is this: healthy weight gain is not a race. Your body is not a machine that can be forced into change overnight. It is a living system that responds to consistent care. Nourish it with balanced meals, adequate calories, and patience, and it will respond in time. Looking back across nearly a century of life, I realized that the vegetarian diet itself was never an obstacle. In fact, it became one of the greatest gifts to my health. It taught me to eat intentionally, to choose foods that nourish rather than merely satisfy cravings. With the right approach, plant-based foods can build strength, support muscle, and sustain a vibrant life for decades. And as someone who has lived 99 years on this earth, I can tell you that the body rewards those who feed it wisely. The strategies I have shared are simple, but their effects accumulate quietly across years. In the end, healthy weight gain is not about forcing the body to change. It is about creating the conditions in which the body naturally grows stronger. Those conditions are built meal by meal, day by day, until one morning you look in the mirror and realize that strength has slowly taken root where weakness once lived. If there is one lesson I would leave behind after 99 years of living, it is this: the body responds to patience, consistency, and intelligent nourishment. Healthy weight gain, especially on a vegetarian diet, is not a mystery. It is the result of small decisions repeated day after day. You must first understand the simple rule that governs the body. To gain weight, your body must receive more energy than it spends. That energy does not need to come from unhealthy foods or careless eating. It can come from nature's most nourishing sources: grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, dairy, eggs where appropriate, and the countless plant foods that have sustained humanity for generations. But calories alone are not the goal. True health requires balance. The body needs protein to rebuild tissues and support muscle growth. It needs healthy fats to provide concentrated energy. It needs carbohydrates to fuel daily activity. When these nutrients work together, the body gradually becomes stronger rather than simply heavier. The methods are simple, yet powerful. Eat regularly throughout the day instead of relying on only a few meals. Add calorie-dense foods such as nuts, seeds, avocados, and nut butters. Use smoothies when appetite is low. Combine grains and legumes to provide complete nourishment, and give the body time to respond to these habits. Avoid the temptation to rush the process with sugary snacks or processed foods. They may increase weight quickly, but they rarely build a body that can endure decades of life. I stand here now as an old man who has watched nearly a century pass. My strength was never built through extreme diets or complicated strategies. It was built through simple foods, eaten consistently, and with respect for the body's natural rhythms. Treat your body with that same respect, and it will reward you with strength that lasts for many years to come.